film sucks. Indie film sucks. It's the Indie Film Sucks podcast. Yeah.
Coming at you from the mean streets of St. Louis, from a basement on South Broadway, the Indie Film Sucks podcast, because indie film is a disaster in the making every time.
Yeah, or podcasts are.
Every time I think you couldn't say anything more sad about independent filmmaking, and you
I go
did.
lower.
No.
I go lower.
No.
Like the lows of the lows and the highs of the highs.
Yes.
No, it's a good day to be an independent filmmaker. All days are good days to be independent filmmakers.
Why not?
Hey, we are the Indie Film Sucks podcast. My name's Mackie. We got Grega tonight. We got Brittany back tonight. Should we call you B?
Yes,
Call
please.
you B? All right. And
gosh.
the bearded wonder, Brock Roberts, is on assignment. But I will say, Brock did get a comment
Did he?
on his beard.
He did.
The
Yeah,
fans
I
love
noticed
it.
that.
So if he was here, I was gonna tell him to keep it and keep growing it out. But he's definitely got a few fans.
Looks
out
like
there,
Mountain
so.
Man.
The fans love it. Man, I've got a beard too. What the
You've
hell?
always had a beard though.
Nobody.
Yeah, if
You
you
don't
shaved,
change your
we would
look.
comment on your
Do you
face.
change your look? Yeah, exactly. Saying thank you. It's like I don't
your
change my
habit.
look either. So shave it. Shave it for our fans.
Oh, God.
All right. If we get 15 likes, Greg is shaving his beard.
15. That's a low bar, but I love it.
Not
That is
for us,
a
it's
low
not.
bar.
For us, it's not.
Oh, okay.
So anyways, this is your first time listening. We appreciate it. We are the independent film podcast by independent filmmakers for independent filmmakers.
The
We
working
talk
class.
about the
independent
highs
film.
The lows
and the in-betweens.
of.
True.
True independent film.
Hey,
So
there we go.
check us out on indiefilmsucks.com.
.com.
Thank you. What we got tonight?
Wow, what do we have tonight? That's a great question.
I was going to throw something out there to just keep it simple since Brittany's joining us again. And Brittany, your talent, actress, actor, I think we used several frames there. But I was at a family function and my wife's cousin's second cousin decided to, yeah, exactly, decided she wanted to get into film. And bold move, 18 years old, left college a week or two into it.
Dang,
And
okay.
moved to, I believe, North Carolina, Wilmington, North Carolina, and decided she's going all in. So she's got, she's in acting classes, so she's associated with a college or an acting coach at least. But I was going to ask you, and congratulations to you, by the way, for signing with a new agency.
Yeah,
So
thanks.
talk about that as much as you want. But I thought that got me thinking about, when do you hire an agent? When do you go out and try to get representation, and I was thinking about her being young, and my advice was get on as many sets as you can. Some of the stuff we talked about last week or in episode 88. I felt since you were here, figured we could take a few minutes with you signing with somebody because obviously you didn't start out with an agency.
I did not. No.
So I don't know if you feel like talking about that. I think for the talent side of the house, for our listeners,
Yeah.
not necessarily production, maybe we can round it off with a little bit of Brittany talk tonight.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I stumbled into my first reps just kind of on a whim because I was working as a live entertainer for an event that this particular agency was casting every year, and I worked for a couple of seasons, and they eventually were just like, hey, do you want us to submit you for film and TV and commercial projects too? And I was like, yeah, why not? And so it kind of just, that just kind of happened. But that was not until, let's see, I'd already lived in New York. I came back. So I'd already been pursuing this for 4 or 5 years, like full-fledged, having lived in New York and then coming back. So I actually didn't have representation until halfway into my professional career. And I think it's different for everyone because I have friends currently who just got into the industry who are, actors and performers who have just gotten repped within literal months of starting. And that's it really just depends on who you are, what your type is, what the need of the market is, like what people want, and also kind of what direction you want to take it in. I value that I didn't have representation for all that time because it taught me how to look for my own stuff and how to kind of build the business side of things without relying on that like external source. Because the way that I see agents is that they're not necessarily supposed to be doing the work for you. You're still showing up and doing the work. It's why they only get paid 10 to 20%. Like you're still getting paid 80 to 90% because you do most of the work. And just because you have representation doesn't mean you stop doing the work on your own. It doesn't mean you stop self-submitting or stop looking for other ways to practice the thing that you're doing. So if, I think it's different for everyone. With somebody as young as 18, I mean, just because of my personal experience, I would just recommend, talking to people who've done it and asking them what they are doing, like getting on sets, where they're getting on sets, who they know, how can I get on set, just to like learn the language. And then a lot of times some reps won't consider you until you've built some kind of background.
That's what I was going to ask
right?
you. Pull the curtain back on that process because I'm sure it's selective. Like I couldn't go in without a reel, or I couldn't go in. So pull the curtain back on that a little bit.
So I beg to differ because a friend of mine who was repped almost 2 months into deciding, okay, I'm going to be an actor, didn't have anything, didn't have a reel, had some good pictures of herself, but it just so happened that the representation that she submitted to was really looking for someone like her. And from the get-go, she's been in like classes, she's been putting herself on set, she's getting in front of, like just taking jobs to learn things and getting in front of the camera for different types of things. And she's figuring it out as she goes, actually rather rapidly, like way faster than I figured it out, you know what I mean? But I also think that it's because she's surrounding herself with people who knows the ropes, who's been there, who's kind of done it, and like she's just like being a sponge. So I would say, being a sponge, whether you have reps or not, just being a sponge in any way. It kind of goes back to our conversation we were having that in the last episode that I was here for, of getting on set and just learning and understanding what's going on and kind of building from there.
Do you think there's a number of disreputable agents out there who take advantage of people?
Oh yeah. There's a few.
Because I've heard some horror stories about people signed with
it's
tax
terrible.
agency.
It can be terrible. Yeah, you have to be really in this, and it's because they know when somebody doesn't know. So, that's a personal responsibility I take upon myself when, people are reaching out to me, asking me about reps and agents and stuff. I'm like, there are some slimy people out there. There are agencies who, hallmark of red flag of bad agency is like one of the first things they say is like, okay, you have to pay this fee to be a part of our roster. You have to take classes from our teachers. You have to take photos from our photographers. You have to do all of this before we even start submitting you to get a job. That reps don't get paid till you get paid. They don't take anything from you. They might recommend, hey, we would love to see you get in a class. We would love to see you get these X headshots for this type that we think you would be good for. But they'll send you a list of recommendations. They will not force you to take a class. And that's just their way of saying, hey, we want to invest in you. We want to invest our time. We want you to invest that same time and energy in yourself. But if an agency, a first sign of a non-reputable agency is them telling you that you have to take classes or take photos under their wing. Yeah.
I mean, I think any aspect of any business, there's going to be the highs and the lows.
Oh, absolutely.
So that was a good question. And Brittany, I think you explained it very well to that point. That depends on what they're looking for, right? So you could have no experience, and they could say, we were looking for redheads, or you know what I mean.
Sure.
We're trying to do that, or so. I guess whenever you're ready, or however you feel, is probably the best scenario.
Yeah, I mean, ready is so relative.
Yeah, no, it's a
or
strange industry, right?
Because it's not like you're never ready. I mean, I don't know. I'll have to get back to you on that one because I knew that I was ready to make a change and signing with a new rep for my own personal goals and like the feedback that I was getting internally. Like I knew, and I think that only comes from experience and like being clear on your goals and like what you want to be doing.
Yeah, and we don't mention names on this show on purpose. So how does that work on that side then? On you,
Like how I decided.
Yeah, because obviously you still have to hustle, just like in
Sure.
any job.
Yeah,
and
I'm never gonna stop, I don't think.
Any slacker, like,
Yeah.
they could be saying, well, Brittany didn't put in the work, right?
Yeah.
So that's why she's not getting stuff, right? Who knows? There's always two sides of the story, right? You're saying, hey, I was ready to go. But how do you, what's the, I guess, the percentage of how much you're finding on your own versus how much
Oh.
they're sending you?
That's a good question. Truthfully, I would say probably like, and this isn't to discredit the work that they do because
No, right.
this is
It's-
it's such a weird industry, especially, I mean, all together, but like, especially as actors, so much of it is out of our control. And so, even just having, I think the thing about reps that people misunderstand is that you having a rep doesn't mean that you're going to get necessarily more auditions per se. It just means that you're partnered with somebody who has a reputation with maybe people that you wouldn't be able to get into the door with if you didn't have that partnership. So there are things and breakdowns and castings that only go through agencies and certain casting directors that don't go out to the public. So I'm submitting myself on behalf of myself to things that are sent out to the public on Actors Access or Facebook or like whatever, which oddly enough, a lot of stuff that I find is off of Facebook and Facebook
Yeah.
groups.
Yeah.
And like, that's a whole nother thing. But you got to be kind of careful with that because some people are a little weird and some people can be a little sketchy.
So it's not
about things.
exclusive, though, right? The rep's not going to hold you back to say you can't do.
Well, it depends. And not my particular reps because we're in a small enough market. I'm at a point in my career where it doesn't really make sense to hold me back. But I know I have some friends who are with bigger agencies who are auditioning a lot, and it does them a disservice to self-submit because they're being submitted so much to such
Gotcha.
high-profile things that really at that stage of their career, they're better off just going through their reps
No, that makes sense.
or making their own stuff.
I've been on
You
the
know.
other side where we've called a rep, and we said, hey, between 55 and 70 years old.
Oh,
and this
you
is
were
the look.
looking for talent.
Exactly, and
Oh,
so they send over
Yeah.
the pictures, and you basically go through, and you got the pictures, and then you said this one, this one, this one. You get
And
the
then they
tape.
rep.
Exactly. So I saw how that side worked.
Oh, what did you do that for? Was that
A little short. Greg and I did.
Okay.
That was for Barbie.
cool?
Yeah, but that was
Yeah.
a different experience that we had for Red Night.
Did you hire somebody from that?
We did.
And did you pay the agency a rep fee?
Somebody did. Yes.
Yeah, somebody did.
Somebody filled out that
That's
paperwork,
cool. Yeah.
and somebody took care
no,
of
that's
that.
dope. I wish more people would do that. But I understand why more
No,
people don't do that.
and this guy was in on that, but he also didn't have the experience, or I think the talent pool, or the network. So
Yeah.
he went with that. I mean, that's how we got with our next DP too.
Sure.
By meeting him on that
Yeah.
same set. So.
Well, but speaking from the director side, there are pros and cons to working with a talent agency.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say one of the biggest cons is you miss a lot of people who are not represented through an agency
That's true.
who are very good at what they do.
yeah.
Do they, when you do that, is it exclusive? Like you have to work through them and only them, or can you also put out a feeler on your own?
I've never had any sort of exclusive relationship in the times that I've worked with them. We had one pretty bad experience where this person wanted to charge us a lot of money for very little work. And
I mean, that's a casting agent.
well, that is
Not a-
Like a casting director?
that is casting director, but that's
Right.
that's still
different.
that's still yes.
I think it's different.
It is different.
But it's in
It
it.
was a horrible experience.
Doesn't
yeah.
change the fact that it was terrible.
Yeah, I mean it's same ballpark, but yeah, different game, I guess. But prior to that, the experience with the talent agency, and this was years ago, was very positive.
Yeah.
But I would say most of our cast has been drawn from non-talent agency people. Not all, but most.
Yeah. And I think it was speed to cast, convenience, right? And it's all packaged for you without having to do a lot of the pre-work. Obviously, Greg, your experience in 25 years of knowing people, you got a large pool
Sure.
to draw from.
Yeah, but someone starting out might not
yeah,
have that.
exactly.
But if you're just starting out and you don't have that pool, then you have to have money.
Yeah. No, you're definitely paying the rates and the fees, and
Yeah.
and that's a little bit different even from Mosley when we went to a manager.
Yeah, right.
Where he's repped by another person.
Which, manager does a little bit of a different job than an agent does.
Which,
yeah.
once you get to a certain level and you're being called more than you're calling, that was a different experience. But still a fee, still a thing, still a contract, still the T's and C's and everything else like that. Do they guide a contract for you? Do they? Is it
it
flexible?
depends. So,
Yeah.
I mean, every project is different. I think they send the rates and the travel and everything that would, come with whatever the project is, and it's always different. But there is an option, if I get, something, if I book something and then I want to, or my agent feels like it would be able to negotiate, we can do that. I do a lot of negotiating on my own for my own projects, and I don't know, it's kind of fun for me. I think that's just like the business person
it's
in me.
fair on both sides.
Yeah,
From
I mean, it just
production
depends
side,
on the. It depends on the. I'm not gonna be dramatic, and if there's somebody that shows me a rate and they say, hey, usually it's things like I have negotiated, like if I was out on contract, and this was more when I was doing theater, like, hey, can you throw in a gym membership while I'm there for 4 months, or can you, like, that kind of stuff that's not insane of an ask. It's more just like my quality of life would be better if I'm going to be here for this amount of time. If I could have X, Y, and Z,
Sure.
Can we work that out? Or can we, if it's something that doesn't involve pay, but if I'm going to drive a couple hours, can I get some gas money? Or like,
Right.
can I, stuff like that.
And that's an important thing that you bring up.
Yeah.
That you should always be negotiating for things, and that does not.
The worst they can say
money.
is no.
Yeah,
Yeah, the worst they
people
can say is no.
Right, and be reasonable. Like you said, if my quality of life and I go to the gym every day and I'm going to be on your set for 4 months, can I continue that, right? And it's how you explained it and how you positioned it and how you do things, and depends on what production.
Yeah, and then if they say no, then you have a choice to make. You can either say, I mean, usually I go into negotiations expecting a no. There was one time that I negotiated a rate, and I wish I would have negotiated higher to start because they were like, yeah, sure. And I was like, dang it. They were so fast.
I
was
live in the business world,
Dang it.
and when they don't stop and think,
you should
or
you should negotiate high and go higher.
You
Yeah,
should've
so
gone
I
higher.
learned. And
it's like doing
That's how the pawn shop gets you, man.
No,
Yeah.
I 100% agree.
They always want to know how much you want. They're never going to make their offer first.
Very true.
No, I learned.
Always
I
say
learned for
$10,000,
sure.
no matter what it is.
No matter what.
Exactly.
Dang, that's crazy. But for it's a family member, right? Technically.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
my
distant
wife's
family
second
member.
cousin.
Yeah,
I
right,
try
right.
to add it, fourth removed, I suppose. Is
I mean,
where
the
you were
first
going.
thing that I did when I decided I want to do more film was I found out about the 48-hour film project. So if there's a 48-hour film project in your
good
area,
point.
like join a team, no matter what capacity it is in. If they're looking for actors, cool. If that's what she wants to do, awesome. That's a great place to start because it's high stakes but low stakes at the same
Sure.
time. If it's a good team, like look up. I don't know. I could have a whole conversation. Like I literally could have so many conversations with somebody like that because I have all these. This is my big picture brain looking. Like you
Yeah.
could look up all this stuff. It might be overwhelming for certain people, but and just like build a relationships. I'm telling you, the first 48-hour film project I did, I swear every single thing I've done after that is some degree of separation from somebody that was on that set. It's crazy.
Still talk to people. Go ahead.
and
But-
you get footage quickly from the 48
But-
if you're acting. So
There's
always a but.
There's always a but.
I have a big butt.
So the plus with the 48-hour film project,
Okay.
and if, for those who don't know, 48-hour film project is a national and international competition
Oh,
where
international.
you
I
have
didn't know that.
international around the world, where you have a weekend, you have 48 hours from Friday to Sunday to make a film, 7-minute film that has a randomly given genre, and everyone in the competition for that city that year have the same elements, they have a prop, a line of dialogue,
And a character.
and a character that they all have to use. And it all has to be done, all the work has to be done within that 48-hour time period. So that's what that is. So the plus side of that is, generally speaking, at the end of the weekend, you should have a complete short film.
Yes.
In theory.
In theory. The minus side of that, I would say, is yes, it is filmmaking kind of turned up to 11.
It is,
But
yeah.
it's not like a regular shoot.
That is true.
It's so
That is true.
It's so compressed
Yeah.
that yes, it kind of gives you an idea of what it's like being on set, but not really. Not like say like a 15, 20, 30-day shoot, which can be a grind that you might have to really.
I do think
fight
it is
through.
a dose of it, though.
It is a dose.
It's for sure a
It's
minor
definitely on
dose of it.
adrenaline and
It's
hyper
like a-
speed.
It's a microdose of
It is.
being on a. I mean, heck, I haven't even been on a 20 or 30 day set. I want to be deeply.
Yeah.
I want to
Guess
be.
if I was getting paid too, I'd
But
be in there as long as I could.
somebody was talking about one of my friends might potentially book a 4-week television gig, and I was like, that sounds amazing.
Oh yeah. I mean,
That sounds amazing.
Now, here's what I think, man. So I've done some acting. I have zero interest in being an actor. I've been in front of the camera. I've done a little bit of theater. I am not an actor. That is not my bag. But I think every actor at some point ought to run a production just to see how goddamn
And vice
hard it is.
versa.
I think
And
you should
vice
be on
versa.
both sides.
I have been on both sides. I've been on both sides.
Greg has,
Yeah.
and I'm getting well rounded on the other side of
Because-
And I honestly think directors who have acted make better directors because you have a different understanding.
Well, you have an
too.
appreciation.
I think
and vice versa.
I think
Yeah,
it works both
yeah,
ways, 100% equally.
Ooh,
'Cause-
pinch Coke. You want me a Coke?
Yep.
I don't like Coke. Can I get a Dr. Pepper?
You can have
If you
some
said
Coke
Pepsi,
beer.
we'd throw you right the hell out of
No,
here.
absolutely not. I
Hey,
don't like
ooh.
Coke I'll drink a Diet Coke if I have to. But
Coca-Cola
Dr. Pepper.
is delicious poison, but it's poison nonetheless. But anyways,
Sponsor.
Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper.
yeah, Dr. Pepper's all right.
I'm the Sprite guy.
Yeah, but yeah. So you really, I remember you talking to me about. Oh wow, I didn't really think about things once you got on the other side of the camera.
Eye-opening, my friend. But also looking at it through a lens where I had more support than you ever had.
Sure.
So I
Yeah.
couldn't believe what you did on how you did it, and that made me want to make it better for you, so you didn't have to go through that again, and I didn't have to experience that again.
Yeah.
Selfishly. So I didn't have to experience it.
No, I don't
Also,
want to
so you
experience that.
didn't-
That's
No, yeah, yeah,
miserable.
yeah.
I mean, that's flat out miserable.
Yeah.
It is.
And I didn't understand the misery in Rhineland and some of those places you were at. I mean, this.
Like, it can't be that bad.
No, everything you hear on Indie Film Sucks, the podcast, and Greg's negativity comes from 25 years of being miserable on set.
No.
Because he was wearing
Well,
too many hats.
I will say this:
Burn the
Rhineland.
fuck out.
Rhineland was
Oh.
the only movie where it's okay.
You can cuss on
Okay.
here.
You can say fuck. Rhineland is the only movie where I thought I was having a heart attack and went to the hospital. Turned
Oh my
out,
God.
yeah, turned out no, just a panic attack. So got
Those
released.
suck too. I've had a couple
Got
of
released
those.
back to the
Back
set.
to the set, baby.
Continue your prison sentence, sir.
Yes.
There was one time, this is totally, it's relevant, but I did go to an urgent care because I was working at Six Flags as a performer during the first ever and one of the last Christmas seasons that they ever did, the Holiday in the Park. And I was, we were between, we had 4 shows a day. We were between 2 and 2. So we were in the middle for our lunch break. And I was trying to open a can and I opened and sliced my finger.
Ow.
I went to the urgent care, got it all bandaged up. Of course, the only color bandage they had was bright green. And so my middle finger, literally my middle, I think I have a video on my phone somewhere. My middle finger is bandaged up huge, thick. And I'm just like,
Hey kids.
yeah. Well, and they're like,
Merry Christmas.
they were re-blocking the show without me in case I didn't make it back, but I did make it back, and so I ended up doing the last 2 shows with this honking like
That's beautiful.
green thing on
Hey,
my
show
finger.
must go on. Look at you guys. Panic attack, finger all chopped up. This is just, it's all for the
All
art.
for like
Yeah.
It's all for the art. So,
chicken and dumplings or something.
switching gears a little bit, Greg.
Okay.
You had mentioned something, and then this ties into what we were just talking about, Brittany, about young people starting out. What do you need to do? How do you do it? Where do you look for advice, right? And you know, got this young gal in North Carolina looking for advice, and you got to keep your moral compass about you. And there's a lot of things that you just need to do and be a good human being, right? And we talked about being a good person on set.
Human
and,
first, artist second.
yeah, working hard and all those things. But Grega, you had mentioned a post that you had read about, and you can maybe explain a little bit about a young artist starting out who made a post about looking for advice.
Yeah, it was some teenage girl and I did not read this post. I read other people discussing this post.
Okay.
So it was a teenage girl in a film forum, and she was first-time filmmaker, and she went on there looking for advice how to make a movie. Like what you do when you're young and you've never done this before, but it's something that you have this desire to do. And
Where do you start?
that's exactly.
Podcast. That's where you start.
Should have been here, kid.
We would have episode 7 is where we actually
never
start talking about filming.
We would have helped you out, and you would have
Wait,
quit
episode
immediately.
7? It took you 7 episodes?
Well, we talked about our whole library, episode 1 through 6.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we brought
That's
you through it was like the Oregon Trail. That's how much we brought you through the journey.
Dang, when did you?
Yeah,
Never mind.
Brock got
Everybody died.
dysentery.
I was gonna
Anyway.
say, when did someone get dysentery and die? Man,
Anyway.
Oregon Trail was the bee's knees back
Well,
then.
go back and listen to episode 1 through 6. That'll have some memories for you.
That'll help you. All right. Anyway, point is, so it's a young kid looking for advice on how to become a filmmaker, and all of these people, all of these adults, shit all over her. Said you need to have a $50,000 budget. You have to pay union cast and crew. You have to do this. You have to do that. Otherwise, you're taking advantage of people. And man, nothing makes me more angry than that, because that's like when I first started out, even before I really started out filmmaking, it was me and my friend Tom and some other friends of mine, and we would grab a camcorder and we would make a movie about whatever. And I got into a discussion long before this one I'm talking about, but on an indie film site, and they were talking about if you're not paying people X amount of money, you're taking advantage of them at whatever level you're at when you start.
That's subjective.
Kind of. So I said, so if me and my buddies just grab a camcorder, never made a movie before, we're just gonna we don't know anything about anything. We're gonna make a movie. I should be paying them union scale. And like, yes.
What?
Really? That is completely insane, man. Because Steven Spielberg started making movies in his backyard
With his buddies.
with his buddies.
Yeah.
That is not where you start out in this industry.
Isn't it usually a hobby when it starts? And so
Yes.
Yeah, I don't understand how things get off the rails so...
I do.
Do you? I mean, social media? I get this person's
No, I
out
think it's
there
ego.
thinking they're on a forum, that they're going, and I can imagine this person thinking, man, I'll get some key advice and somebody will give me some things. And
I think it's two things. I think it's ego or what's the word I want to use?
Insecurity?
Insecurity? That's what I was
Insecure
gonna go.
ego, and also ego or like people who have not been able to do it, so they're bitter, they're upset, they're distasteful. And I saw a post that's very relevant to this, because I feel like all these people it just made it click for me. Excuse me. Somebody said, I don't mess with people who tried to be experts and failed, so they became experts in shitting on other people, basically, was like the thing. And so basically now all they do is spend their time criticizing other people who are doing it because they didn't do it.
Yeah.
And there are so many people out there that are like that. And it's like you have to, I mean, it's a lot easier said than done for somebody who's been around a little bit longer and like, you're like, whatever, I don't really care. You start to kind of minimize the opinions of like all these other people and only focus on the opinions of the people who really, really, truly have your best interest in mind and like know you and know you're capable of and like all this stuff. But as a younger person, me at 16, that would have been like devastating to me because I was
16,
such
right,
a.
do we?
That's
Well, you
what
said a young
that's what the original
teenager,
post
right?
said. It was a 16-year-old
Okay.
or it was a
That
teenage
is-
girl.
That is, I just imagine myself at that age, and although I was still very much in the like hell bent to do things, especially if people told me I couldn't do them stage, but I definitely hid a lot of insecurity and lack of confidence, and I was a huge people pleaser then. So like that would have been like, well, I guess I would have gone one of two ways. I would have been like, well, I guess I won't even try. This is too much, or
But the
I'm gonna
onus
prove
isn't
you
on
wrong.
her. I mean,
No,
you know what I
but-
mean?
it's just-
I feel like
but
they're
that is-
knocking her down.
That is devastating for a young kid. Like, oh, here's film people. I want to make films.
yeah, it
what
just
should
sounds
I
like
do
a
to make
bunch
films?
of old people who are bitter about.
But that's the mob mentality,
Yeah.
the pile on, you see it in other subjects online. I don't get that. Was there any, I mean, you didn't see the thing, you were just commenting on the one section of it, so I understand
Yeah.
where you're going. You're just taking this one piece of the thread, right, and kind of driving with that.
Yes.
'Cause I know it drives you nuts.
It does.
It drives me nuts too, because I don't understand, because I only know one way.
I also just hate. Well, I guess she was looking for feedback.
No,
or whatever.
and-
But I hate unsolicited advice, and I feel like I can say that because I used to give it.
Yeah,
all
but
the
it's
time.
it's behind the screen. You're you're
it's
not
so
exposed to
bad.
anything.
It's
Exactly. I
so
think if that same
bad.
person came up to somebody, the same person, they wouldn't have the same advice if they were standing in front of them, right?
I don't
actually
know. I think
crazy.
some people certainly would. Some people have this weird sort of entitlement about.
Are they protecting film? What are they trying to protect? Because
Well,
It's-
here I get this, right. I'm not saying you shouldn't pay people. I'm not saying everyone should work for free. I'm not advocating you take away people's jobs. But I'm saying when you're young and you are starting out to do something, then you should do it because that's what you want to do. And then you ask questions of people and they should help you. They don't necessarily have to, like, if someone wants to know how to shoot a movie, I'm not saying a cinematographer who makes their living shooting movies should volunteer their time and I'll shoot your movie for free, kid. But no, giving someone advice and encouragement, which doesn't hurt you at all and helps them, that's not only free, that's a good thing to do.
right, but
I also hate it when people ask a question about, and I obviously didn't see the post, so I don't know exactly what the wording of the post was, but I see this a lot in like the many different filmmaking groups that I'm in. There are people that will ask a question like, how can I do X, Y, and Z? And then instead of people offering any kind of helpful advice, they're
Right.
just like, no, don't do that. And it's like not at all what they ask or not at all what they were hoping to receive, and it's just so confusing to me that so many people have. I love and hate the internet because it gives so many people, so many dumb
Yeah.
people agency to be more dumb.
Everybody gets a voice.
Yes, it's so sad.
Not
but-
everybody needs one, but
But I-
everybody gets one.
and I even get if you have money and you're going to put on a production, you should put towards some of that towards talent, labor, paying. But I would
Yeah.
also discourage somebody 16 years old who has, if they have $100,000, to not make $100,000 movie. And if you're going
Yeah.
to prey on that too and go, have me on my movie, pay me scale, right? Because you can take advantage of that way too.
Oh, yeah.
And-
I mean,
and
that's
no-
like
right.
That's like signing a college loan at 17.
Well, exactly. And there's people out there that make their first movie for $250,000 or $300,000.
That's great. I love that. Not
But-
my story,
but
but
without the experience.
Those people who do
Yeah.
that are people like Lena Dunham who come from money.
Well, also experience though.
She didn't have any experience when she made, I think it was Paper Dolls or Paper House as her first feature, but she came from wealth. So it was a lot easier for her to spend that money. If you know, your Uncle Fritz
well, you
dies
get the right people, the people.
But
who
I
know
would
what
also
they're doing.
say if my Uncle Fritz dies,
and he leaves you $100,000,
And I-
don't make a
okay.
movie with it.
I would, if I had $1 million to spend right now, I wouldn't make $1 million movies with 88mm productions.
No, we'd make a
Thank you. I'd make
$100,000 movie.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying though, because the foolish advice and what they're trying to tell this gal is
Spend it all.
Is right. Is and we don't
Because
even know
you
how much
had-
money
yeah.
she had. She was just looking.
Probably nothing.
It's poor advice to go. You need to do this. You need to do this.
I think
it's
it's
like,
all ego driven.
yeah, you didn't. Where were your roots when you did it? And to the people that are telling people to pay them, you don't have to take my job. I'm at a different level than you. If you want to come on my set, you know what you got into. Don't complain that you're not getting paid or this is the conditions or this. We talked about expectations. Set the expectations, but then when you accept the expectations, come to
I
perform
would have
for
loved
that
to
actor.
see. I would have loved to see somebody comment on that and be like, "Hey, I have this project coming up. Do you want to like intern on it, or do you want to like be? You know what I mean? I mean, I
Right.
know that some people can kind of see that as like free labor, but like if it's somebody that's never done it before, and you want to give back, it doesn't sound like any of these people had any inkling of giving back or kind of carrying the
No,
torch
but
on or whatever.
That's the whole point of interning. It's not
It's
free
to gain
labor. It's to
experience.
gain experience.
Yeah, I mean that's like we were talking about in the other conversation. It's depending on where you're at, like that experience is the compensation because it's valuable
Yeah.
in that moment.
And it's not like, you know, working for exposure, right? Because people die from exposure. That's different. When you're first starting out, it's okay to, you know, work on a no budget film for, you know, 23-hour shoots because, you know, you're 17, you have all the energy in the world because you're going to learn a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
When you've been doing it for a few years,
It's harder to sacrifice that.
yeah, then it's like,
well-being.
what am I doing here? This
I
is
get
Yeah, but it's also okay to
But at the same time,
come back and help support somebody on that too
Yeah,
with your
yeah, yeah.
talent and whatever,
and
right?
I
Without
think at the
pooping
same
on 'em.
time, I would be like, for instance, right now, I am getting more interested in the producing and the, like, maybe not directing it at the time, but like I have ideas of creating more my own stuff, and I have interest in that. I'm not going to expect to be paid to do that right now. I would expect to find somebody I know and shadow them and learn from them and whatever, because that's a new avenue for me. It's just like new, like, or if I'm going to, you know, ask somebody for their advice on something that I've never done before, I'm going to say, hey, can I buy you a coffee and talk to you about it? Or like
Sure.
something like that.
But
know
if
what
you
I mean?
asked me for advice on that side of things, I would tell you exactly that. I wouldn't be like, hey, Brittany, you're an established actress and you need to go in and get that scale for something. I'd be
I'm
like,
great there.
well,
That's the whole point.
Exactly. I'd be like, hey, you know what? You're starting out. This is the way it should be. This
Yeah.
is kind of what you're going to see out there, you know, blah, blah, blah. I would give you honest advice from my experience. I don't like
Yeah,
people
this
that...
whole post is ego-driven,
I
in my
know.
opinion.
Because
It drives me
I'll be
nuts.
honest. I have had people come up to me and say, "Hey, Mr. Greg, how can I get into movies? You know, what should I do?" I'm like, "Man, just grab a camera, grab your friends, and just go make a movie. And I don't care. It doesn't matter if it's a piece of crap or not. You're going to know when you do that whether you want to do this or not.
Are you a
Anyways,
kids person? Do you like children?
not really.
You don't really give me
really.
the energy that you,
I'm
you
like
would teach
Bad
a
Santa.
film
I'm going to count how many
class
kids have ever been on Greg's set.
Zero.
Zero.
until coming up, right?
Yeah.
He's not really a kid.
No, he's not a kid.
I mean, he's been
Is it
on 48.
preteen?
I don't think he was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like that.
But no, I have had people, younger people, ask me, how do I get into this?
Mr.
And
Grega,
Mr. Grega, Mr. Grega. And I said, kid, just grab a camera and make a movie.
All right.
Grab your iPhone, your freaking iPhone 17 Pro Max.
You got a better camera than me.
Yes.
Of course, they all got better
I
cameras.
know.
free-
You drove up here in a better car than I have.
Free
What are you talking
YouTube
to me for?
videos on how to make a movie on your iPhone.
Make a movie before you get a real job.
Yeah.
I feel like it is that entitlement that comes from either a lot of success and being a entitled jerk about it, or a lot of failure and being an entitled bitter jerk about it.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, here's the other thing about this industry. It is full of and littered with failure. Failure is
Depends on how you look at it.
No, it is. Failure is baked in.
No, it's baked in. It's
to
inherent.
filmmaking.
Yeah,
It is.
on purpose.
It is, and that's not a negative.
But that's life.
People aren't failure people. You know what I mean? It's built in because it's tough.
Yes.
It's hard. It's
It kind of weeds it out.
hard to do.
Yeah.
It costly mistakes. I mean, there's a lot of. There's a
Oh,
lot
I
of
just heard about
high-
a costly mistake. Did you know that Amelia Clark from Game of Thrones was not originally in it? That they shot the whole thing with another actress?
No, I didn't know that.
They shot the whole thing with another actress.
Was the camera off?
The whole thing. And then they reshot it with. Do you know how expensive that mistake was?
I mean, I don't even want to know.
And now I can't even imagine it without her.
And I don't even want to say, oh, the studio can afford it, because that's a costly mistake somebody probably got
can you
fired
imagine?
for.
Well, I don't even think it was necessarily like the other actor's fault. And
Oh.
she's like a regular working actor, but like, that's crazy. Anyway,
Well, I mean, Back to the Future was originally shot with Eric Stoltz and not Michael J. Fox.
But a lot of studios have that kind of funds baked. I mean, I do.
Yes.
No, I mean that's why studios run on tight margins. I know Hollywood and millions of
No.
dollars and blah blah blah, but I mean studios have gone under because of major flops and major mistakes.
I get that, but I don't think it's as uncommon. And okay, the amount of movies that come out that are successful are a very small percentage of the movies made, even
Yeah.
by major studios.
Yes.
So the failure is still baked in.
Yes.
The failure rate, how hard it is, the overages, everything. It's just
and I really think it comes down to how you view failure. Like, if you view failure as like, well, shit, I failed and I can't do this anymore, then you're going to be weeded out. But if you can view failure or, you know, mistakes made or whatever as opportunities to do something different or grow or learn, like, I think if I viewed failure in the former way, I would probably not be doing this anymore.
Well, I would have quit a long time ago because I
Well-
mean it's mostly been failure.
But we talked about this on a podcast, but for you, Brittany, on failure is how many no's did you get, right? If you don't put enough audition tapes out, that's
Well, and
not
I also think
failure.
it's defined by your version of success. Like I actually today I submitted an audition for a feature film that was shooting somewhere in Tennessee. It was going to be like a week long. It was a really great role. It would have been stunt heavy. It would have been super fun. And I was pinned one of 3 girls that were up for the role. And I got the email today that I did not get it.
Mm-hmm.
But in the email, the creator was like, "This was the hardest casting decision I've ever had to make. I'll definitely keep you in line." So I could, and I initially was like, "Oh, this really sucks that I didn't book it. I was that close and I didn't book it." I could lean into that. It's kind of like when you get, 1,000 positive comments on something and then you get 1 negative comment and then you like stick on that. I could have stuck to the fact that I didn't book it, but the fact that the director took the time to email me to tell me, "Hey, you didn't get this. It was a really tough decision. I know who you are now." That's the win. I don't, the booking would have been kind of the on top, but the win for me, and that has not always been the case for me. I would have taken that not booking as like I wasn't good enough. Like
Yeah, I mean, that's a
3 years ago.
It's a confidence thing. It's a learned thing.
It's an experience-driven thing for sure.
And we talked about on one of the episodes.
But I think there's a positive. I don't know. Maybe that's my eternal optimism shining through. But I think there's positivity in any moment.
There is, and we
But also, you got to acknowledge how much something sucks sometimes. Like independent film.
Yeah.
Like independent filmmaking.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We talked about it on one of the episodes about who defines your success and what defines your success. But it's
I think it changes over time.
You said about having the plan or knowing what you want to get out of it and what you want to do. If just making the movie is your win, then that's your win. That's what you chalk up, and nobody can say anything.
My first
right.
5K, my goal was to just do it without stopping.
Yeah. And if you hit that, then that's fine. And then I think going back to this young girl who put that stuff out there, whatever she was trying to get out of that, hope she did. But why you gotta crap on somebody? And even when people crap, like we're doing independent film reviews on this podcast because we think it's important for independent filmmakers to have a place where they're going to get honest feedback on something that we fully understand. They're under budget, understaffed, just trying to grind it out to give them an honest review of something we know fits into the world of independent film. We're not comparing a war film to Saving Private Ryan.
Constructive criticism goes a long way too. You know?
Yeah, not everything is going to get a 5-star review. Not everything has gotten a 5-star review, but everything has gotten an honest review. And even
I think it would be a disservice if you gave something a 5-star review.
It absolutely would be.
Yeah.
Even a lesser quality film, you have to find the good in that.
Yep.
And I've been able to find the good in that because we've seen some really good stuff and some less than good stuff. But it's not about saying your film was a piece of dog shit and here's why, because that doesn't help anybody.
Oh, you didn't pay your actors.
Yeah, because I mean, trust me, I have heard all of that.
What if they did?
Yeah, maybe they did. I don't know.
Maybe they wasted their money.
Exactly.
But I have heard all of that, and you know what?
Oh God, I hope nobody ever says that about me.
Well,
Nah, this is the honest. We're honest truth right here. Well, we haven't worked with you yet, Brittany. So.
that's true.
Well, yeah.
So we have no idea what you're capable of.
Right.
But you did.
That sounds like a challenge.
You did come highly recommended. Of course, that person was an idiot, so.
Well, hey.
No, just kidding. But.
Oh no! Now I don't know who it is.
Exactly.
That's what we do.
great.
Keep you guessing.
Go back and listen to episode 33.
Are you dead serious right now?
No.
Oh.
No. All right. We talked about a lot tonight.
We did talk about
We
a lot
talked about a hell of a lot tonight. We talked about, I mean, we ended on failure. I mean, is that not just this podcast or something?
I mean, that's what indie film is.
Exactly.
We ended on reframing failure.
Brittany talked about a lot of highs, getting signed by a new agency, talking to some young lady out there struggling a little bit that might need a little bit of advice by listening to episode 90.
80.
Yeah. Okay.
90.
Anyway.
Whatever it is.
Anyway.
80, 90.
So there were some highs.
Yes.
There was definitely some lows.
Definitely some lows.
And a little bit in between.
Yeah, I would say. Maybe even a little arguing.
Yeah. On the
Maybe.
Indie Film Sucks
Podcast.
Yeah. Brought to you by 88mm Productions. Check us out. Like and subscribe. I'm just bringing it down because it's a failure.
Okay.
No!
I'm just fading us out of this thing.
All right, yeah. Indie Film Sucks
You can do it.
Podcast. We're on indiefilmsucks.com, 88mmfilms.com. And then, I don't know, Instagram and some other shit, I guess. I don't know where you can find Facebook. Various places you can find it. Yeah.
That's all we got.
Let us
That's
know
all we
if you
got.
have any thoughts on these things that we talked about
No one
today.
ever gives us their thoughts.
But if
We
you do,
want- we wanna know the
Jay
thoughts,
did.
though.
Thanks, Jay.
Jay did.
Thanks, Jay.
Thanks,
Jay did
Hey,
give
Jay,
us his thoughts.
Should Greg shave his beard? Let's see if you're listening. That's all I'm saying.
Oh.
All right. Peace out, people. God bless.
15 likes, remember.
Good night.
Indie film sucks. Indie film sucks. It's the Indie Film Sucks